All right. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check. Okay. Okay, welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the Market Open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right. I was just playing with gold for a second, and if I would have had time to watch it, I would have traded to the high. As it was, I just made 2 ticks and exited because I just had too much to do. I couldn't watch the trade. It wound up going right up, right up. Gold, unbelievable. Just keeps going up, up and up, over 4,000. That is a super magic number. Super magic number. Looking at a little bit of the overnight news. Uh, Basically, the overnight news for me is sports news. The Phillies lost and they're on the verge of elimination. I can't really explain what the last 3 years have been like being a Philadelphia Phillies fan. I cannot explain it. Um, I'm live on the internet here, but when you have a manager who should have been fired 3 years ago for blowing the whole season by using a pitcher he shouldn't have used twice in a row. It would have been fine if he used them once and the pitcher failed. But he used them twice, and the second time it blew them out of the playoffs. It might have even been the World Series. I don't even remember anymore. It's just so annoying and bothersome. And he's doing it over and over again. He's just not capable of managing a playoff team. I just can't take it anymore. And you have the biggest choking, overpriced, rich, spoiled brat players choking their guts up at the end of the season. It's just mind boggling. I don't know why I like baseball. I like baseball because of the history and the tradition and give me Willie Mays, give me Mickey Mantle, give me J.R. Richard. But these guys, they make me puke. So disappointing. Anyway, Phillies will probably get eliminated Wednesday. I just can't take it. I can't take it. I like baseball so much and they're just ruining it for me. Anyway, so that's the start of today. We have the market open. The world is it's no better today than it was yesterday. Things are tough. Things are tough out there. You have a Mickey Mantle autograph baseball. That's pretty cool. I loved Mickey Mantle. I loved Roger Maris. I loved Elston Howard. I loved that 61 Yankee team. The 60 Yankee team was amazing also. People forget. Johnny Blanchard. Trying to think, was who was the shortstop then? It wasn't um, the announcer, Phil Rizzuto, was it? I think he was already retired by then. Bill Skowron played first base. Second base, Bobby Richardson. Shortstop, was it Rizzuto? Dent is later, Will. That's 80s. Is Dent 70s, 80s? I'm talking 60s. Who was the shortstop in the late 60s? Or even 60. Mets won the pennant in 69. 65. So 71 Yankees. So 61 Yankees are considered the greatest team, one of the top five greatest teams of all time. Big Red Machine would be on there. Trying to think who else might be on there. 61 Yankees. I would say they're considered the greatest team of all time. 27 Yankees with Babe Ruth 60 homers. Considered amazing team also. Definitely the Big Red Machine. Johnny Bench. Wasn't Pete Rose on the Big Red Machine? That was an amazing team. I don't remember the year of the Big Red Machine though. But Phillies are an unbelievable disappointment. Unbelievable. You can't win if you don't hit. But if you have a manager who makes the worst idiotic decisions, who plays to tie in the playoffs, you can't win with a manager who can't manage pitchers either. You just can't. There's no way. No way. Anyway, how's everybody this morning? Let's get our charts in the right place. So gold just making high after high after high. Just amazing. Amazing. Just for fun, looking at gold on a day chart, daily chart, and the high was 4,005. What was the high? The high, is it making the new high? No, it's not making it now. Oh, right, intraday. Let me get rid of that. Excuse me. Okay, something's going on with oil right now. Look at oil. It just sold off 60, 80. Oil went down 62 ticks in about 7 minutes without news. No news. So something in the background would cause that possibly. News will eventually come out, probably, that you might understand why that move took place. All right. Oh, Tony Kubek, that's the man. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Leonard. And who played third base for that 61 Yankee team? It was before Nettles. Who was the third baseman? I don't remember. Somebody, we could just Google the 61 Yankees, the roster. It's one of the greatest Stratomatic card sets I've ever seen for the board game. If you ever played the board game Stratomatic, Stratomatic Baseball is so much fun. It's a really great board game. It's been around my whole life. Still around. Now they do a lot of online stuff, but it was the greatest, most fun board game ever made. I used to spend hours in my room just playing game after game after game after game. Some people played ABPA, APA. And that was a stupid game because their cards were dumb. When you look at a Stratomatic player's card, you know immediately if he's a good or a bad player. Appa just used a cryptic, stupid numbering system. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But there's a few people out there that swear by. Some people call it APBA. Most people call it APA. That was a reasonably popular game. Then you had Status Pro Baseball, Sports Illustrated games when they made good strategy games. All right, MNQ 1225. Look at this markets. Look at these markets. The markets are completely divorced from life. It's the only, there's no explanation why markets keep going up, 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 and up. Inflation's through the roof. Job market is slowing. Consumer confidence is down. So the markets are completely divorced from regular life. And we've seen that for quite a while, actually. So the MNQ, I definitely don't enjoy trading when we're right at the high. Just watching the price. What I'd like to see, what will make the open better, in my opinion, will be if the MNQ sells off a bit so that there's room to trade on both sides. That's what I would like to see. So I want to see a sell-off right now. That helps us. It helps it create more of a normal open. Well, you missed the rant, Roz. You missed the rant. But it wasn't that great. It was just baseball. It was just baseball. So we are streaming on YouTube. I've been talking about trying to get more people to come to our streams. And I need to figure out how to get more people to our streams. We have quite a lot of YouTube members. I mean, not bad for a small company. And we're just not getting the eyeballs on our streams. All right, let's set up our MNQ trade. Now I am starting to post more and more and more, and that should help. So MNQ, we're not getting the eyeballs on our posts either. We're not getting eyeballs. That's our problem. Eyeballs, that's a funny kind of word. You could really go into a really bad place with that word if you don't watch yourself. If you get my drift. 9:29:59 is our trigger time. All right? 9:29:59 is our trigger time. I'm going to load my MNQ template. Oops. Load my template. Oops, I just erased my hard drive. No. MNQ, that could happen. It's not easy, but it could happen. Make sure you have a backup. I just bought a drive, not just, but a couple of days ago, bought a drive from Amazon to back up all the trade room videos. But if I drop dead tomorrow, no one's going to ever watch those videos again. So why do I even bother? Right? No one even knows I have them. Really. They'll go through my stuff and they'll just throw it all away. That's what happens. MNQ open. 10/6 is our most recent day. We're going to update the date to 10/7. And we're going to load it. And when we load it, it also saves the file. Got a 30 bracket, targets of 25 and 50. Don't forget, your position size is the number of positions you're trading. You can trade one, two, or three. And then the number you put into the position size item field is just the number of contracts you're trading. All right, it's very simple. Normally on the open, I trade, most trades these days we're trading two positions. When you get an awesome trade that spikes like 100, like an earnings trade, where you have a history of spiking over 100 ticks, for instance, that's a good trade to use three positions. Let's say you have a trade that spikes over 100 ticks. Your first target could be 20, your second target could be 39, and your third target could be 76. Trombones, right? Anyway, but that's how you might consider using three positions if it's a good spike. You don't want to use three positions if a trade doesn't move that well. That would not really make much sense. All right, so we're going to activate at 9:29:59. The bracket's 30. Choose your contracts and positions. We have a target of 25 and 50. BE minus 40. BE minus 40 on the target one stop move, and my stop is 100. The trade is labeled in the setup area, MNQ open. I'm going to just put my time to 0 for a moment, the first two numbers, so I can check the bracket. Put your charts on sim. I I've been texting my son like nonstop. We're both like just groaning about the Phillies. He just sent me a funny text. Phillies in 5. They're down 2 games. They have to win 3 in a row, two in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are a phenomenal team. They are a great team. You've got Otani, the gambler, uh, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Dodgers are a good team. They are a good team. All right, so our bracket is very nicely set up for a trade. When you set the time to 0, you can see the width of your bracket. Yesterday we got orange orders of death on the open, which is, did anyone trade in cash yesterday and get orange orders of death? I don't think I've hardly ever seen orange orders of death when I use cash. I'm just curious if anybody had that experience yesterday. 9:29:59, back to our correct time, and then choose the account you're trading in. Apply it and OK it. Nitin, I see that you're going to slightly update your bracket, make it a tiny bit bigger. I like the 30 bracket on the MNQ. It's been very reliable on the MNQ. I'm going to set up a second setup on the MNQ, a reverse continuation. So Leonard, the reverse continuation is a discretionary setup. You just double click 10-minute news trader, change the breakout to reverse continue, and then usually I like to use one position on most reverse continues when they're scalps. So I might do a couple of contracts on position 1. You have to have a target. I'll use a target of 50 ticks. You don't use a target stop move because if you're trading one position, there's no target stop move to do because if it hits your first target, you're out of the trade. And my stop is going to be 75 on my discretionary reverse continue. And that's all I do. I just do a position, a target, and a stop. That's all you need for reverse continuation. Label it REVMNQ continue. reverse MNQ continue. That way it's easy to see it on the control panel, and then put the account live if that's what you're trading. So our market open account is account number 15, and your chart trader must be on that account as well. Yeah, I got filled short yesterday, 100% short. I don't know how it's even possible you could have gotten filled long yesterday, Nitin. The move went straight, it looked like it went straight down. But if you get frozen orders, you could get filled in the wrong direction on a pullback when the orders become unfrozen at an inopportune time. Now, YM. This morning, everything's making new highs this morning. I'm tempted to use our YM range. The breakout worked yesterday. We got our 11 ticks. So I'll go with our one contract YM one more time. Another day. So let me load it. Template, load, YM open. Did I make a YM open one contract? I did. Let's see if this works. I'm going to rename it. This was theoretically done in August. We are October 7th already. Hard to believe. Impossible to believe. It's still 3 weeks until Halloween. So we've got a breakout. 25 on our bracket I used yesterday. Position 1 is a 1, and we have a target. I'm going to make that first target 40. The stop is 35. But the key is if the market moves 20 ticks in my favor, I'm going to move my stop to plus 16. Okay? That's how I'm going to trade the YM. I'd like to see a decent move this morning. 929.59 on my trigger, but I'm going to set that to 0 to look at the bracket. The bracket's 25. Position, I'm just trading one position. I'm looking for a 40 tick target, but my stop is 35, but I'm using the feature right above unattended. If the market moves X ticks, 20, if the market moves 20 ticks, it's going to move my stop to plus 16. And I'm trying to protect some of the profit. That's what that means. And it's labeled YM breakout or YM open is fine. I'm going to save that template because it's an updated YM open. YM open one contract, and I'll date it 10/7/25. And now we'll test the bracket because the time is 0 in sim. So the minute we get price movement, we'll get our brackets to draw. Come on. Come on. There we go. It's a little big. Not like in the fill area. It's above the high. Maybe in some ways that might be okay. We have to break the high to go long. Yesterday we did a complete gap fill in the markets. So I'm going to put the time back to 9:29. And I'm going to put my account on 15, apply it, and OK it, and we're ready for our YM open. I'm also going to do a second trade, the reverse continue on the YM. Right click the chart, click on strategy, double click news trader, change the bracket to a reverse continue. I'm just going to trade one position, one contract. So I make position 2 as a 0. My target will be 25 ticks. Everything else is 0 until you get to the stop loss. That's going to be our 35 ticks. Nothing else is going to matter. It's all default till you get to account. It's account number 15. That's where we're trading our opens. And I'm going to label it YM, or let's label it our new labeling system, reverse, REV, YM, continue. It just makes it so you can see it perfectly clearly. Apply it. Make sure you chose the account you're trading in account. Apply and OK. Make sure your chart trader is on the right account. And then make sure you turn on your trade by clicking the enable button in the control panel. And then you can double check, make sure your account is correct in the control panel. Make sure you have your instant long and instant short trading buttons, right? Okay, and thank you folks on YouTube. Hit the like button. If you hit the like button, it's going to help us to get more eyeballs on our streams. If you hit the notification bell, you notice I didn't email this week for the stream. If you hit the notification bell, you'll get a notice on your phone that we're streaming. You can zip over. So press that notification button. So we have just a couple of minutes. I'm kind of thinking this morning we're going to get a little bit quieter open. I don't really know if that's true. That's what I'm thinking. Uh, what else? It's also it's fake Amazon Prime Day. I think original Amazon Prime Day was a July 7th or something like that. Now, with the greed, the corporate greed, out of control corporate greed, they now have all these fake extra Prime days. And now it's not just one day. They just should make every day Prime fake price day. It is, I mean, it's not totally fake, I suppose, but you got to really check prices on Amazon. Amazon often has horrible prices, in my opinion. They don't always have great prices. Prime Day, sometimes there's deals, sometimes there's good deals, but Prime Day started as one day, and then greed took over. More and more greed. There are certain industries where greed is rampant in a way that is really grotesque. One of the industries where greed is grotesque is in streaming. That's an industry of unbelievable greed because it's a greed caused by some desperation, also, if you think about it. A lot of the cable companies, they've lost a lot of customers. They make a big deal about cutting the cord. So what we've got now is what's double the price to get all the shows and channels that you used to have when there was just the cable model. Now it's at least double the price to get all the same channels. Or you pay a whole lot and you don't get all the channels. It's impossible to get all. And it's so confusing now. You need a PhD in communications to try and understand where you can get all of the channels you want to watch if you are a person who likes TV. Mostly, it's really sports that drives the streaming. And then we'll talk about betting some other time. I don't want to go on a rant. We're getting ready for the open. Here we go. We got YM on the right, MNQ on the left. I'm waiting for that big, beautiful betting scandal to come in that compromises a sport so horribly. It's inevitable. There's no way it's not going to happen. Will it be the refs or will it be the players? That's the real question. Now, we got to fill to the upside, which I don't like on the YM. I really don't like it because I just don't know if I believe it. I'm expanding my MNQ and streaming down, trying to avoid getting taken out, and it grabbed me on the YM. Trying to make it back on a short on the YM. If it goes back up to the high, I'm really gonna quit trading the YM. My stop has to be above the high. It has to be. The MNQ is going down. The YM is chopping. It's at the high. And like I said, if it breaks that high, then I'm really serious. I'm not trading the YM in the morning anymore. I am not trading the YM in the morning anymore. I'm just not doing it. Because I can't ever get the direction. I'm never getting the direction properly. You know what? It's my own fault. My own fault for ignoring the proper signals. The signal is long. Signals are long. This is my last shot. Let's go. Let's go YM. Give me some of that back. And that stop. Not crazy about where that stop is. You have a good squeeze. You have a good squeeze. But there's a lot of chop. Lot of chop. See if we can get that continued movement up. Take a little bit of that profit if I can get it now. Okay, we got a little bit of the YM back, not enough, not enough. Watching, I'm turning off my breakouts to get rid of, we're not doing any more breakouts. I think that YM is just going to keep climbing. It's got all the signs of an instrument that wants to keep climbing. So let's see if we can get one more. Stop is below the previous candle. If it breaks that candle, it'll stop me out. And then I'll be done. Be done for the morning. Now, no delayed data at all this morning on either the YM or the MNQ. The data look good. YM's up about 149 points. My definite concern is that it may have reached its limit. We'll see. It may have reached its limit. Who traded the NQ this morning? Who traded the NQ this morning? Silver used to be a really, really expensive instrument to trade. I mean expensive. Expensive. Moving my stop to safety, expanding my YM target, trying to trail a little bit, and just got too close. Price-wise, made about an extra 40 bucks there on the scalp. So still down because of YM. the bigger stop. Silver's an instrument I have not traded in ages. Ages, ages. What's the symbol? I don't even know the symbol for silver these days. SI? It's $25 a tick. What's the contract? 11? 12 like gold? 25 a tick can wipe out an account in a second. That's the truth. You don't want beginners trading silver. You don't want to be a beginner trading silver. That's an account killer. 25 a tick. How's the volume? Doesn't look too bad at the moment. Now the YM's chopping around, so I'll take my lumps on the YM. I think trading the YM, the way that I'm trading it is not working. My stops are too small. I'm in and out too many times, and it's just not working. It's not working. The MNQ has been just steadily working. You almost don't even have to watch it. The MNQ has been working very nicely. So let's see who traded what. Who traded what? Roz, you traded the YM on Bullinox, MNQ. Calvin, you traded NQ and MNQ and made some money. Who else? Anybody else? Nitten? Uh, Phil traded the NQ breakout to the downside. Nitten traded some silver. Jagman had a winner. J, MNQ. MNQ's been solid. YM, I'm just jumping in and out too much, not trading it well. Just not trading it well. Okay, just out of curiosity, let me download the YM data. All right, I'm downloading the YM data. Today's data, market replay. All right, today's the 7th. I'm downloading the 12 contract on the YM. And we're going to run a replay at the open with the range trade. All right, that's what I'm doing this morning. Let me get rid of my YM breakout and my MNQ breakout. We don't need those. Now to connect, you got to disconnect live to do the replay, and you got to connect playback. All right, I call it replay. Ninja calls it playback. Makes no difference. Makes no difference what bag I'm in. That's a song. I don't think that's the right lyrics. Looking for 10-7 on both boxes for the date. Both boxes get 10-7. Blank space, right click, press go to when it becomes alive. And we're going to put the time of the couple of seconds before the open. 9:29:50. We're going to have to reset the time because of that little Ninja Trader bug. So before we do that, let's do that. Oh, it's working this morning. So 9:29:50. And let's load our YM range template and make sure you're on the YM chart. YM 1225. But this is how easy it is to do a replay. I'm almost ready. Almost ready. I'm going to create the strategy. I already have the strategy. It's a template. So let's load our YM open range strategy and take a look at it. YM, if I have it, I thought I had it. Yeah, YM range open. Hang on, I almost screwed up. I have to load it, not save it. Always pay attention or you can easily erase something. Load it, not save it. YM open range. Starting the range at 924.59, ending it at 930. 930. 5 ticks above, 5 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. And I've got a target of 15 and 25. Break even minus 20 if it hits the first target. And a stop of 35. Template, I'm going to save a new one, YM open range, and date it today. 10/7/25. Okay, so now we're going to run a replay. We're going to turn the range on. Our software is going to start 10 seconds before the open. 10 seconds before the open. Now, there's our range. All right, we have 10 seconds. So it would have gone up this morning. It missed the first target by about 2 ticks on that initial move. Chopped around a little bit. Now you can speed it up if you want to. So if we would have used that exact setup, it pulled back enough to stop you out on that exact setup. Roz, you're saying you use a 2-minute range? I don't know what you mean by 30/30 and T1. T1 contracts only, I get. So that setup did not work because it pulled back a little bit too much. It was also a 5-minute range. 5-minute range. Target 1 was 15. If you use a scalp target on the YM, which is not a bad idea, 10 ticks, watch the difference. Just changing the target from 15 ticks to 10. It's going to work. It's going to hit target 1. It's going to hit target 1. Let me just go back in time. Hold on. Go back to when the open started, 9:29:50. 5 minutes can be a long range because it can create a pretty big range if a market is volatile. Let's double check the setup. Starting the range at 924.59, ending it at 930. Targets of 10 and 25. If it hits the first target, I'm moving the stop to BE minus 20. And the stop is 35. It's a small stop for a market open. That's the problem with market opens. You've got to risk. If you really want to trade them with full-size instruments, you're risking some money because 35 stops are too small. Let's try, we're just changing our target from 15 to 10. It's going to work. It's going to hit the first target anyway. So we're going to start Same time we started before, but the range already had 4 minutes to calculate. You don't have to watch it for 4 minutes. I'm coming in at the end of the calculation. Not too big a range this morning. Wasn't all that large. There's your orders. It's going to pop up and hit the first target, I believe. See? But the problem, you never got an opportunity to move your stop to safety. So even though it hit that first target, it still this morning looks like it would have been a losing range trade on the YM because of that pullback. It needed, at least it looks like to me, a 50 tick stop. And this is how you can use playback to tweak your setups. So if we go back to the range, make it a 50 stop, and then go back and try it again. Let's see how it goes with a bigger stop. And we'll go back to 9:29 and 50 seconds. Give the software a little bit of time to just get all the calculations in place that it's doing. Here come the orders. So now when we get filled, I think it's still going to get stopped out. Yeah. What you could do, here's an interesting thought about where you would put a stop. It makes a lot of sense to put a stop below the opposite range. So if you get filled long, your stop goes below the range. And if you break the range to the downside, that's a pretty intelligent place for a stop. Watch what I mean. But sometimes you have to be quick. This morning it was pretty quick. You don't always move so quick. So remember what I said. If you get filled long, the stop's going to be below the range, not in the range. So if we get filled, I've got to move my stop below the range. Okay? It's 4 ticks below. That's an intelligent stop. If it breaks the range, then that's saying, hey, there's a pretty good chance we're going to start going in the other direction. If it's just chopping around, you want to try and survive. It may still get you. See, it still got us. Now, I was 4 ticks below that range. It needed to be at least 10. It was just not easy this morning with the 5 minute range and a 50, up to a 50 stop. Roz, what setup do you use on your entry? I'll try it. We'll put it in. What's your range start? What's your range end? So 9:29:50. We're still going to start at the same time. So Roz is saying I always use range trade on YM, 2 minute range entry. So if the open is 9:30, does that mean you're entering at 9:28? So 2 minute range, 9:28, right? And we're entering at 9:30. So instead of a 5 minute range, we're shrinking the range. So everything else is the same. 5 ticks above, 5 ticks below. 10 and 25 on the targets. Let's see what a shorter range would have looked like this morning. Would it have mattered? A 2 minute range. So there's the range. You can see it's less candles in the range. I don't think it's going to make a difference this morning. Now it's a bigger stop in relation. So the stop is 50. It might have kept you in the trade this morning. It might have worked. So the fill 47,046. It is 50 ticks. So we got that pullback, and the pullback, you could see the wick. It was a wick you barely couldn't even see. But it looks like a shorter range, that 2 minute range, would have at least survived that initial pullback. And then if you don't want to wait, you could speed up the playback with the 1x button. But it looks like now we know it's going to go up from here. So a shorter 2 minute range this morning would have worked. Does that mean it's going to work every morning? You got to do some testing. So 2 minute range would have worked. So that's how you test though. That's how you test your ideas. You use market playback, replay, and tweak your settings. Now, you don't want to just tweak settings so you always have winners. You want to tweak settings so they are reasonable in terms of risk, targets. You don't want to make weird settings just because it was a winner, because then when the market's normal most of the time, quote unquote normal, weird settings won't hold up. 50 is not really a small stop on a market open. There can be quite a bit of volatility on a market open. But so that 2 minute setup worked this morning instead of a 5. And you could do a 1 minute range, right? It's easy to test. You just go into the strategy, make sure the strategy's not turned on, go into the range, and instead of 928, start at 928.59, for instance, a minute before the open. Apply it, okay it, enable it, turn it off everything. Right click in the blank space and put your time back to before the open, 9:29:50. I just go 10 seconds before the news or the open, and then make sure your trade is enabled. Press play, and now we're testing a 1 minute range. There's the orders, same stop. So this will work with a 1 minute range. Speed it up so we don't have to wait. Can you get that pullback? It didn't break 47,000. And there you go. It's going to go up and work. So today, the shorter range worked fine. But bigger stop also. Bigger stop also. We used that 50 stop. Was the 35 stop not good? That's always good to check. One last check. 35 stop on the 1 minute. Don't forget, put your time back. 9:29:50. 10 seconds before the open. Make sure the trade is enabled. Press play. There's our range. I have everything sped up. and it will stop us out because it broke almost 40. It almost gets to 47,000. So you did need the bigger stop. The bigger stop was required. Okay. The issue that was tricky this morning was before it continued up, it did that little pullback, and it was almost 50 ticks from where we got filled. Not quite. It looked like it was about a 45 tick pullback. Then when you're done, disconnect playback and just reconnect your live, and you'll be back to normal. So look at how much sell-off came after it made those new highs. Quite a bit. Quite a bit of sell-off. Almost flat. Almost a complete gap fill. But I would not call that a market open gap fill because it's quite a ways after the open. The market open went up and it started selling off about 5 minutes after the open. All right. Now we do have a trade room this evening. It's a short room. It's at 8. Make sure you double check the time. There was a mistake on the time. I'm going to trade the New Zealand rate statement. It's at 9 o'clock, and I'll be in the room at 8:40 for that trade. That trade has some risk because New Zealand is very low liquidity. So it's usually a good breakout if you can get a good fill. It has been a trap, but it doesn't always reverse because it's a rate statement. So, gonna try it as the breakout. We've done some testing and definitely gonna give it a shot. So we'll be in the room at 8:40 for New Zealand rate. Okay? Any questions? 8:40 p.m. Yes, Arthur, 8:40 p.m. I want to thank everyone on YouTube for joining us this morning. We'll be streaming tomorrow. Hit your notification bell, but we will be streaming. Let me see if we are streaming tomorrow. FOMC minutes at 1:30. So we'll be streaming at 1:30 tomorrow. So thanks for watching us on YouTube.